want me to stand up?
It's okay. You don't have to. To vaccinate or not to vaccinate? According to the CDC FluView report, since August 30th, 2009, there have been 257 reports of pediatric influenza deaths. 46 of those deaths occurred in children less than 2 years of age. These deaths are easily avoidable if most children had received a simple flu shot or vaccine which is available at their pediatrician, and now most local pharmacies are authorized to administer it. Vaccines are important for many reasons. The three main reasons to have your child immunized are: number one, it can save your children's life. Number two, vaccination has been proven safe and effective. And number three, immunizations can save your family a lot of time and money. Let's start with the most obvious reason to vaccinate your child. Immunizations save their lives. Vaccines have reduced and in some cases eliminated many diseases altogether. When is the last time you've heard of a child dying of smallpox? Well, not in this lifetime. This is because smallpox vaccination helped completely rid the disease worldwide. Children don't even have to get a smallpox vaccine because it doesn't exist anymore. An article on the March of Dimes website titled "Immunizations, Your Baby Shots" lists the immunizations a child needs to get at a very early age. There are 11 vaccines that are available and recommended for children under 2 by the Center for Disease Control. They are hepatitis B, rotavirus, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, hemophilia influenza type B or the Hib, pneumococcal, varicella, inactivated polio, influenza, hepatitis A, and meningitis. As of 2009, the H1N1, or swine flu as we all know it, vaccine has now been added to that list, but it is not yet available everywhere. Even history has proven how vaccines can save lives. In the year 1916, there were over 9,000 cases of polio reported in New York City alone. For a period of several years, the statistics didn't change much. In the 1940s, the polio vaccine was introduced, and the cases of polio reported declined rapidly. Today, a child's chance of contracting polio is 0.0001%. There has been so much hype about vaccines, leading to health issues and learning disabilities such as autism recently. But according to an article from The Lancet written by David Mitchell, The Lancet has fully retracted the 1998 study that linked autism to the MMR or vaccine, after an independent panel recently concluded that the study was flawed. The truth is, vaccination is safe and effective. Vaccines are actually very safe despite implications to the contrary in many anti-vaccine publications. Most vaccine adverse events are minor, such as a sore throat or a mild fever, which in my case, my son had, and all I gave him was Tylenol. These can often be controlled by taking different medications after the vaccine, such as that. More serious adverse events occur rarely, and some are so rare that the risk cannot be accurately assessed. As for vaccines causing death, again, so few deaths actually occur statistically that they haven't been attributed to vaccines. The World Health Organization, or WHO, states that most adverse effects of the vaccine are due to human error in administering the vaccine, not the actual vaccine itself. Due to vaccination, some diseases and illnesses are completely been eliminated altogether. Another example of this eradication of polio in the United States. Polio was once America's most feared disease, causing death and paralysis across the country. But today, again, thanks to vaccines, there are no cases of polio reported in the U.S. at all. The last reason that your child should get vaccinated is more of a safety net for the parent's time and wallet than it is a real health issue. Immunizations can save your family a lot of time and money in the long run. A child with a vaccine-preventable disease can actually be kept out of schools and daycare facilities. This can be a major burden on parents. When a parent has to go around finding a babysitter or childcare who will accept the child who has not had their shot, it can be really, really time-consuming. Not only that, but they can wind up being blamed if another child gets sick, whether or not the child is the cause or not. It's just a lot of stress and hassle for absolutely no reason at all. A prolonged illness can take a financial toll because of lost time at work, medical bills, or long-term disability care, when it could have been avoided all along if the parents had just made the right decision to have their child vaccinated early. If a parent misses too much work due to a sick child, it can lead to even further financial difficulties. They can lose their job, which can ultimately cause issues in the family and in the home. According to the CDC Parents Guide to Childhood Immunization, getting vaccinated against these diseases is a good investment and generally covered by insurance. So why not just go ahead and do it? Insurance companies find every single way possible to avoid covering many cases. But immunizations are one thing that they do stand by. In conclusion, there are so many reasons to have a child immunized at an early age. As can be seen, there's unarguably, 3 major life-altering reasons to have your child get their vaccinations. Again, their immunizations can save your child's life, and there is no excuse not to get them because they are safe and effective, and they can save you a lot of time and money in the long run. The fact is that a child is far more likely to be seriously injured by one of the diseases than by any vaccine they are given. While any serious injury or death caused by vaccines is one too many, it is also clear that the benefits of vaccination greatly outweigh the slight risk, and that many, many more injuries and death would occur without these immunizations. In fact, to have a medical intervention as effective as a vaccination in preventing illness and not use it, in my opinion, is completely inexcusable. With that being said, my son will be 2 years old in March, and when he was born, I made the decision that I was going to have him vaccinated. And I will give birth to another son next week, and he will also be receiving his immunizations as well. Question is, what decision will you make? Is there any questions? Yes?
How old does a child have to be before he's vaccinated for any of the diseases?
The hepatitis B shot is actually given at birth. So typically when they're about 3 days old before they release them from the hospital, they give them their first vaccination. Any others?
Are these vaccinations for a lifetime, or do you have to have them repeated every so often?
You do have to have them repeated so often. He's had 2 different hepatitis B shots. And he also had flu shots you need to get regularly during flu season. Any others? Well, if there are no other questions, I thank you all for coming today, and I hope I've informed you and persuaded you to make sure all of your children do get their vaccinations.
Mom, look at the camera.